Welcome to the Safety Show. I'm your host, David Beaker. Today we're going to show you some very important safety rules that must be followed in the lab at all times. Today we have some very special guests here to help us demonstrate these rules today. Mr. Accomplishment and Dr. Failure. Mr. Accomplishment, would you like to demonstrate how to follow rule number 1? Do not smell chemicals directly from the container.
Of course.
Look at him as he immediately puts on his safety goggles so that his eyes will not be in any danger if the chemical fumes get onto his face. As we can see, he gently wafts the fumes of the chemicals from the top of the container towards his nose by fanning them with his hand, not sniffing it directly, as this may cause some serious immediate respiratory complications and/or other symptoms. And now we go to Dr. Failure, who has no respect for any safety rules whatsoever. Look at him as he places his nose directly into the container's top, practically inhaling the fumes with his nose and exposing his face, which can be very dangerous. Unfortunately for Dr. Failure, there are many side effects that can come from smelling chemicals directly, such as headache, nausea, disorientation, dizziness, pulmonary edema, and death.
And this is where we call 911.
And it's time for rule number 2. No eating or drinking in the classroom. Mr. Accomplishment, would you like to demonstrate this rule for us?
Of course, David.
Mr. Accomplishment has had this apple sitting on his table all day long, but he knows not to eat it because there's absolutely no food allowed in the classroom, so he puts it in his backpack for later. Guess what, Mr. Accomplishment?
What?
You get a gold star!
I do?
No, you don't. I'm kidding. And then we go to Dr. Failure, who's looking at his apple with such temptation, with such lust, and he decides to keep the apple on the table for later, after he finishes his experiment, which does involve chemicals. But unfortunately for him, he was too busy looking at his phone, which shouldn't be out in the first place, and accidentally puts chemicals onto his apple. Don't eat that apple, Dr. Failure! Well, that's all we have for the Safety Show, folks. See you next time.
Call 911. He's dying.
Is he dead?
Almost.
Next time on the Safety Show, the next rule is wear the correct safety apparel when in a lab.
Oh, my eyes! I should have followed the rules and kept my goggles on. Ah!